Hi guys, welcome to your first lesson on learning how to program. My name is Fifi and I am your instructor. So a quick overview of what we're going to be doing today includes, first off, downloading the necessary software, as well as setting up our programming workspace. Now these two things are extremely important because while you can use an online compiler, those online compilers do not save the version that you're on and they can only run your code essentially. So having a dedicated application on your computer really helps to streamline all of the things that you want to do when you program, which is running, developing, as well as saving all versions of your code. Now we will also learn what the two things that we're downloading are, which are an IDE and a JDK. First, we're going to learn about the JDK, or the Java Development Kit. Now you might be wondering what the Java Development Kit is, and it is essentially a set of tools to develop code on. It also provides Java, which is the programming language that we are going to be using for the remainder of this course. However, keep in mind that there are plenty of other programming languages that you can learn. So next we will be downloading the IDE and learning more about it. An IDE is an integrated development environment, which is essentially a single app on your computer that allows you to perform the common tasks in programming. Almost every professional setting, as well as most beginners, have IDEs. And the IDE that we're going to be using is called NetBeans, which, as my teacher put it, is an IDE on training wheels, because while it has the essential features, it doesn't have so much of the complicated stuff that you would find in a professional IDE, making it perfect for beginners. We will be using NetBeans as our primary workspace, and an added benefit is that the JDK actually comes bundled with downloading the NetBeans app. Now I'm going to walk you through how to actually download the IDE. So just type in NetBeans download and the first thing that pops up should work. Once you're at the NetBeans release site, make sure to pick the most recent version of the IDE to download. So once you press on that link, you should be led to another page that lets you select your operating system. If you don't know what your operating system is, just go to your computer settings and search up operating system. Once you have selected your operating system, you should be led to a page that provides you with a link to download the IDE. Once your executable file has downloaded, I would recommend putting it in a dedicated folder. Then right-click on the file and run it as administrator. The program will then ask you if it can make changes to your computer, and you select yes. You should then see a pop-up that says that it's configuring the installer. After the previous step, there will be a pop-up asking you about your packages and runtimes. You should just click on the default and move on to the next step. On the next page, click yes to the license agreement, then choose the folder that you want the IDE to download in, which should be the folder that you made for the executable. Check yes for updates and move on to next. So this is what your NetBeans IDE should look like once it's done downloading. I would recommend looking around and familiarizing yourself with the locations of the files and the project tabs, as well as the run button before the next video, where we will start using NetBeans to code. So the last thing we're going to discuss today are the differences between the JDK and an IDE. A JDK enables you to program in Java as well as to develop code, which means you have the ability to run, write, and debug all the code directly from your computer. An IDE is an interface to make all of the things that the JDK lets you do much easier by streamlining it into one dedicated place. So an example of the differences between the JDK and an IDE is essentially where you type and the ability to type on your computer. Now, the JDK is your actual ability to type on your computer and have it understand what you're saying. If you download the JDK, your computer will be able to understand Java and understand what your code means. However, where you code also really matters in making your experience and your job much easier, so you can just focus on programming and not all the tiny little details. An IDE makes your job easier. So if you could type anywhere on your computer and you could type an essay anywhere on your computer, you wouldn't want to choose a search bar or an application that doesn't have autocorrect or formatting or templates, because that just makes your job harder and you have to focus on those things rather than just your writing. An IDE is like using Google Docs, which has autocorrect and templates, and just makes your job easier so you can focus on the writing. If you want to take a look at what programming directly from your computer looks like, I would maybe watch a YouTube video or just search up command line programming and see how that interface just looks a little bit less organized and more difficult than using an IDE to program. You have reached the end of your first lesson in learning how to program. I would like to thank you for watching, and it would mean the world to me if you could like, subscribe, and turn on your post notifications. If you have any questions, make sure to comment down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.